What up, my fellow dorks? It is the Turtle Dork back with a new movie review for you today, and I got my partner in crime, Disco, here. So we're going to start off talking a little bit about Bumblebee. This is the new film from Travis Knight. Bumblebee is the film that you can kind of say is a little bit of a soft reboot. Michael Bay is not involved in this film. This is a film that takes place in 1987. Stars Hailee, Steinfeld, John Cena, and the dude, I don't know if he's new or not. His name is Mimo.
Who? That's the dude from Brigsby Bear.
Oh yeah, I liked him in Brigsby Bear. Yeah, Jorge Lindenborg Jr. I thought he was pretty good.
Talking about Baby Vin Diesel.
Baby Vin Diesel.
Slim, next time you watch Bumblebee, look at your man's face and tell me he don't look like Vin Diesel when he's about 12 years old. I've never seen Vin Diesel, but I'm telling you, when you look at that dude, you're like, that's Vin Diesel when he's 12 years old.
Okay, that never crossed my mind. Maybe because he got hair.
Damn. Vin Diesel went always bald.
That's how I know him, though. That's how I know him. But yeah, man, the Bumblebee, I gotta tell y'all, man, I really thoroughly enjoyed this film. I saw it last night. I know you got to see it maybe like a week or so ago.
Yeah.
I don't know, man, just to kind of give you like overall impressions. We'll talk about the opening. I think they do a really good job of letting us know that this is not Michael Bay's Transformers film. And that's a good thing to really kind of usher this into a new direction that it looks like the Transformers films wants to go in. Once we kind of get past the first 15-20 minutes when Bumblebee retreats from Cybertron, gets on Earth, he is, now this is going to be a spoiler review. He gets to Earth, he gets attacked by Blitzwing. Blitzwing basically, they do a really good job of taking away his voice because you always wonder why he doesn't talk. And they do a really good job. And that was one thing I put on Letterboxd, where in the Michael Bay films, how they would take the character of Bumblebee and he would just kind of have these stupid little gags. Like, there was no reason why Bumblebee couldn't talk in those films. And they never really explained it. And what I like about this movie is the fact that Travis Knight gives purpose and meaning to a lot of those silly gags that Michael Bay established in those original films. So the fact that we know Bumblebee as a character that doesn't talk or talks through the radio. So throughout the course of this film, we come to learn first how he loses his voice, and then why, and then how he learns to talk through the radio.
I was tight because
I
was tight because I never liked the fact that Bumblebee didn't speak in the Michael Bay films, right?
Yeah.
So then this movie opens up, and like you said, we'll get to the opening on Cybertron, but that motherfucker is talking.
Yeah.
So you know, outside of the myriad of other things, they're like, oh shit, like when he speaks, I'm like, yo, is he gonna be talking through the whole movie? But then, like you say, once he gets to Earth, they give a meaningful, and I feel like it was really heartfelt reason why he does it in regards to his relationship with Charlie. And I was kind of tight because it made me kind of okay with him not having a voice. Granted, on any given day, I still would rather have Bumblebee talking. Me
too.
I was okay with it because of this film.
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty cool, just like you say, because of the meaning they give to that. Then when you get into that whole relationship with Charlie's character, and you see her family dynamic, and again, it's so completely different than everything. And that's the one thing watching this film. When I was watching this movie, you can't help but compare it to Michael Bay's series of films. And I'm looking at this film last night when I was watching it, and I'm like, okay, so he's doing this different, he's doing this different. I'm thinking about Sam Witwicky, the relationship that he has with his family, and just how that relationship, that family dynamic seems to be a little bit more comic-y. It feels kind of more like Three Stooges, where it's all based on kind of like this physical humor and the banter back and forth. But with Charlie, like, Travis Knight does a great job of really establishing, first of all, the fact that her father has passed away, her mother has another relationship, and I don't know if they said if her little brother was either her half-brother from her stepfather, or if her mother's, I don't know if that's her mother's new husband or boyfriend, if he's the father of her younger brother or not. I don't know if they really established that.
If they did, I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember, but I think it does create this interesting dynamic where Charlie hasn't gotten over the death of her father, and she can see how her family, or specifically her mother, has moved on, and the connection that she has with Bumblebee.
There's a line in there where her mom is like, her mom knows that Charlie is still dealing with some stuff, and Charlie basically comes out and tells her like, yo, I still miss my pops. And she was like, just because you moved on don't mean that I moved on. I really like that, because and that's like real shit, because in real life people process and handle trauma differently. People grieve differently. You know? And so I like that line hinted at that, or actually was directly speaking to that. It's
so funny too, man, because I was watching this movie last night, and there was a scene between Charlie and Bumblebee in the garage where she's kind of confessing like her pain and her insecurities about her father passing, and it kind of related me to my own situation, even though mine was different because I never knew my father. But like the way Charlie was talking to Bumblebee, where she was just like, you know, I never got a chance to say goodbye. And it was just so like that, and the way Hailee Steinfeld plays that moment, and overall in this film, that was a scene that just emotionally connected with me, because I can kind of relate to that a little bit. Just not having that experience of being able to say goodbye and not having that moment, and you could see how much that really pained her. Not being able to have that goodbye with her father, or not being able to have those last moments, and being able to confide in Bumblebee. I thought that was a really, really great scene between the two of them. I mean, getting to some of the Transformers. Well, let's talk about John Cena a little bit. John Cena, I mean, he's not really... he's kind of playing the typical military guy in this, though. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think he is. I mean, to me, it just feels like he's just really kind of playing himself. Is he though? I mean, he does have a great line in the movie, because when oh goodness, I want to get their names for Justin Theroux and Angela Bassett. I don't think they have it on IMDb, but I think it's Dropkick and Shatter or something. But the two Decepticons that are tracking Bumblebee. So when they come down to Earth,
which I think should be noted, is pretty cool. So in this, another benefit, or another reason why I feel like this movie is better than the Michael Bay films, is because it's more focused in that these are the only two main Decepticon threats. So there's no Unicron, there's no mysterious robot with the gun coming out of his face, no Dinobots, no... It's more focused, in that you only have those two characters. And that's something else I want to get to too, because I like the fact that this is a Bumblebee-centric film, but we still get the lore of and the mythology of all the Transformers, especially from the Gen 1 series that we all know and love. But yeah, I think John Cena had a great line, because when they come down and they try to deceive them, it says like, okay, we're looking for, you know, the Bumblebee, and they try to, you know, make it seem like he's the enemy that they're looking for. And John Cena says, he was like, they literally call themselves Decepticons. It's like, what makes you think we could trust them? So I thought that was a great line. But I mean, he doesn't really move the needle either way for me in this film. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't bother me. Like, he doesn't distract me from the film. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't really see a problem with him being in there. I mean, he's not like John Turturro. Because you think about Sector 7 and stuff like that, you would think that, okay, if this is the early like iteration of Sector 7, and we see John Turturro from the Michael Bay, my fear was that he was going to kind of be playing the character like that. But he doesn't. And I mean, and that's it's just that for me, I think it is, my only issue with John Cena is it's either the script as far as his lines, or just his performance. And the only reason why I'm disappointed in that performance is because John Cena can be funny as shit. In Trainwreck, dude, he steals the show in that movie. In Blockers, he's funny as shit.
I haven't seen Blockers yet.
He's really good, because in that film he has way more to do. He has to be the caring father, the overprotective father, but then he has to be the butt of many jokes, pun intended, with the fucking beer bong in his ass. But he has to juggle all of these these things as far as this one character, and he does it like with finesse, like a seasoned person.
See, I don't know if this movie is asking him to do those things.
No. I'm just saying, like, as far as being funny and line delivery, he's done it like on this level. In this movie, I just felt like it was, for me, it was like, oh man. But like you said, it wasn't enough that made me not really dig this movie. Yeah.
Because that's one of the things, like watching movies after everybody else has seen it. Because I know a lot of people were talking about John Cena, so I was thinking like he was like the character that was going to bring the film down. But watching the film, like, you know, he's not even in it a lot. He's not really in it that much. No, not at all. But I don't know, man. Let's get to the beginning, man.
I'm about to say, motherfucker, we gonna talk about the opening of this movie?
Yeah, man. Like the way this movie opens up. Now you might be able to talk a little bit.
Did I oversell it?
A little bit.
God damn it.
A little bit. Only because it wasn't that long. The scene literally, I think, was like maybe 3 minutes. It was extremely short. And to your credit, and again, I was sitting third row because that's the only seats I could get. No. So it was just like I couldn't really get the full look. I did see RC.
So Wheeljack,
Braun. Bro, I'm not familiar with Braun.
Shame with you.
I know. But I did see that. And of course, we had the scene with Cliff Jump.
And Ratchet.
I saw Ratchet. But yeah, I thought it was just awesome. I mean, again, like I said, man, it lets you know, like, look, we ain't fucking around. This is and you know Travis Knight is a Gen 1 fan. To be able to come out the gate literally from the opening after the Paramount logo, and you're right there on Cybertron, and you see the Decepticons, you see the Autobots, and it's full on.
It looks just like the cartoon.
It does. It looks like a live action version of. It looks like they took the cartoon straight from those designs and took that and just said, let's make a live action version of that. And Travis Knight, for whatever reason, understood that a lot better than Michael Bay. And I don't want to crap on Michael Bay, but I just don't like those films, and we have nothing else to really compare it to.
Well, to his credit, because like you said, it's inevitable that it's capable you're going to talk to, right? But to his credit, Michael Bay admitted when they approached him,
he wasn't a fan.
He said, "I'm not a fan. I don't know these characters. I don't know this history."
So it comes down to the studio. Like, so, if the studio didn't want that, they wouldn't have hired him.
Right. And so Michael Bay was like, "But I can direct the shit out of an action movie." Yeah. And so that was really his approach. Travis Knight, on the other hand, was like, "Yo, I grew up on Gen 1. Yeah. If someone else is going to make a Transformers movie, this is the movie I want to see." Exactly. And he did that. And so, again, at the end of the day, like, I don't. Even though I don't prefer Bay's Transformers films, I don't sit there and be like, it's all his fault, because he told him from jump, like, look, this is not my bag. I guess can blow some shit up.
I guess it's more so in the studio. Yeah. It's more so in the studio. But I guess to that credit, the studio realized, like, look, we need to change the direction because we see that this ain't working anymore, and I'm glad that they did. But I can only imagine if we would have kicked off the Transformers films with this movie first, can you imagine where we would be now? Like, that'd have been crazy, man. That'd have been absolutely crazy if this was the first one out the gate. Yeah. But I don't know, man. That kind of gets me to the point of, like, where do we go from here? Because like I was saying before, like, the way Travis Knight is able to kind of tie in a lot of the things back into Michael Bay's Transformers universe, because at the end we get Bumblebee scanning that Camaro and turning into the Camaro when he's riding alongside Optimus Prime across the Golden State Bridge. Yeah. But then it makes me think to myself, like, okay, where do we go from here? Do we start fresh? Do we use this as a soft reboot? Because they've established something that I think really gets people excited about what Transformers can be moving forward. So I think, like,
at the end in the theater, right? At one of the last scenes, if you haven't seen it, go see it firstly. One of the last scenes is Prime on Earth talking to Bumblebee, and he's saying, like, all right, you did a good job, you know, whoop-de-whoop, and now it's time to link up with the rest of our Autobot brethren. And he points up to the sky, and it's the scene from the opening, you know, in the opening of Michael Bay's first Transformers movie, when the Transformers are coming to Earth in that, like, meteor shower looking formation. Yeah. So the movie ends there, and it connects to the first film, Michael Bay film.
But we don't know what the timeline is. Are they still? Because when he's in the forest talking to Bumblebee, I'm thinking that's still 1987. Because remember, in Michael Bay's version, Prime came down in that meteor shower with the rest of the
In the forest, he was a hologram.
No, not after. I'm talking about after that title sequence. After it says directed by Travis Knight, and then it comes back and you see him. That was actually Prime on Earth with him. Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, at the end, before the credits roll, Prime's not on Earth yet. He's on his way. He's in that meteor shower.
Yeah, but Michael Bay's takes place in present day, or in 2007, whenever it was when that movie came out. But I'm saying, like, this, when that meteor shower comes down, we're still in 1987.
So my whole thing is, if they pick, so there's a bit of dialogue in the opening of the movie when they're on Cybertron and Prime is like, all right, because they're losing the battle, so they have to retreat. So Prime is like, all right, you go here, you go here. We have to scatter through the far reaches of the galaxy to find our Autobot comrades, so we can, so we can come together and face this threat. So you go here, Bumblebee, you go to Earth. Technically, because Lorenzo de Bonaventura, one of the producers on the film at Paramount, said that the next film will be a Transformers movie, not one character, not a Bumblebee film, not a Prime film or whatever, not a one-off. It'll be a Transformers movie. My thought is that line of dialogue when Prime's like, you go here, you go here, you go here, you go here, in order to not confuse the fans, or order to separate and give them some room from Michael Bay's film so they can do their own thing and not have it be confusing, the next film doesn't have to be on Earth. It could be where Prime, because Prime went somewhere. When he left Cybertron, he didn't come to Earth. He went somewhere with the other Transformers. So it could be, what did they do when they, and also they're talking about this shared universe with the Micronauts and Rom and all this other shit. And so if they go out to space, then you put them firstly in a different setting. Yeah. And then you don't have to worry about, well, what's going on, like, well, what happened in Michael Bay's films and how it ties in. Because after that film, we come back to Earth. Earth can be like 2049, Blade Runner shit. You know, we could be
possibly. I mean, that's an option. I don't know if they're going to go that route. I think if they do a straight Transformers proper film, it's
because they're adhering. Because the reason why Megatron was cut out of this film was because they were adhering to the logic that, well, at this point he's already on Earth and ice, so they're continuing with the Michael Bay lore. It's canon. So that's why Travis Knight said Megatron got cut out. They said they had this badass opening sequence where he was just like he said, like Sauron in Lord of the Rings, where he shows up and he just laying waste to people. They said, but that didn't make sense because at this point Megatron's already on Earth, frozen in ice, and like is in Michael Bay's film. So that's canon.
Yeah, but I see, man, if it was me, I would completely I would retcon just how they do Halloween, how they're doing Terminator. Ignore all that. Like, ignore all the Michael Bay stuff.
I'm telling you, if Megatron had showed up, if Megatron had showed up, they could have still said, well, Megatron's on Earth. I wouldn't have cared. I wouldn't have given two shits.
It don't matter.
I would not have cared at all.
Because my whole thing is, well, maybe Prime didn't know Megatron was on Earth. Because then why would you send Bumblebee to Earth by himself if he knew Megatron was there? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, I mean, Prime may not have known. But then again, like I said, I don't even think you need to adhere to that, man. Like, you could just...
I wouldn't care.
Yeah, like, and believe me, the fans wouldn't care. So, I don't know. I mean, I guess the last point I want to make...
What do you think about the moment when you got the touch moment?
Oh, that was cool. That was cool, yeah. Like, I like the fact they brought that song back in. I mean, I hated the end of that scene because... Those bully girls.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they just seemed. I mean, that was just a waste. I mean, they weren't even like fully fleshed out characters, and it just felt like they were there to kind of push Charlie's story along, like for her arc.
Yeah.
But it was just, I don't know. Like, to me, it just felt kind of ham-fisted to kind of have. Because I mean, I don't know. I mean, because that was just a little too much, especially like to go ahead and talk about like her father who was already dead. Like, come on, man. Like. Yeah, we throwing down, dog. Like,
you throwing good hands. Good hands. Shout out to Mo Laurie, man.
Blue block blam.
Beep.
Hey, that's a female fam. No, but the last point is the fighting scenes, like fighting scenes with the two Decepticons and because I always go back to the first Transformers and when Barricade fought Bumblebee in that opening sequence with Shia LaBeouf, and that shit looked like a garbage pile. Like you can't make sense of it. And like literally, you can look at the fights, you can understand the geography, where everybody is, what everybody is doing. There's no confusion, and I just thought that it was brilliant that they were able to take those designs of the Transformers and still be able to construct a fight sequence that you can actually see.
It's visually coherent.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
And you know what? I would say 80 to 90% of that is just the fact that the designs are more simplified. You know what I'm saying? Because you can tell what a arm that's swinging as opposed to just is he transforming mid-fight or what's going on. Like you said, like this, it's like a bunch of trash doing this shit, right? But in this film, especially that opening sequence, like with the Gen 1 designs, like and how that carries over into the designs. Even though I will say the two trackers, they share similar traits to the Michael Bay film, but
they do. But still, it still looks good. Yeah, so I don't know, man. I really dug this film. I mean, if you follow me on Letterboxd, I give it 3.5 stars. I really dug this film. I connected to it emotionally with Charlie's story. And again, the opening sequence and the potential of where Transformers can go from here.
That, you know what, coming from you, that's the biggest thing. Because which Bay movie was it that? It's probably the second one. But which Bay movie was it that afterwards you was like, you know what, I'm just done. I'm done with the franchise.
Oh, no, the fourth one.
All right, so when the fifth one got announced, you didn't care. You didn't care what was coming next.
I didn't care at all.
So I would say that's the biggest takeaway for me is like this has turned the tide as far as you anticipating the next movie.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people who got turned away from those Michael Bay films kind of feel the same way. Because I think for diehard fans like us who grew up with Gen 1 Transformer cartoons, comics, toys, this is what we wanted since they announced that first film in 2007. Yeah. We was like, oh shit, they gonna make Transformers. Like we literally, our minds went straight to that, like the 86 cartoon or 86 movie, the cartoons, the toys, and then when we got it, we were like, okay, you know, we kind of went with it. But then now, seeing that what we've gotten and what we know what it could be, it's like, bet, let's do it now. Like it's game on.
I'm confused now. I'm sorry, I'm thinking about the end of the film because when they showed Prime at the end of the film driving away with Bumblebee, he was the box truck.
Yeah.
But in Bay's film, when he came to Earth, as soon as he got there, he scanned the long nose.
Yeah. He scanned the long nose.
And he stayed the long nose.
Yeah.
So
that's what I'm saying. I mean, they're being real loose with the connectivity to.
And granted, I don't mind because seeing the box
that's what I'm saying.
on the big screen was like, how? That's the biggest takeaway for me. When you see it, you go, how hard was that? Like, why did it take us this long to get that?
It goes back to what you were saying about Michael Bay not being a fan. Yeah. Saying like, look, I can do action. You know, I can do. I mean, he can't do comedy. I don't know why he thought he could.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. It's just I think we can get something that's more familiar to what we know and love as Transformers from the 80s. Yeah, it'll be nostalgic, but if you get the right directors, like I think Travis Knight did a great job doing this particular film and kind of giving new ground to where this can go in the future. And if they're looking at having a Hasbro connected universe, because you know they're talking about doing a Snake Eyes movie. So they could be doing the same thing with G.I. Joe. Let's introduce Snake Eyes, Storm Shadow, because that relationship and that story, that backstory, is a movie unto itself. Yeah. So then you can establish Snake Eyes, Storm Shadow, introduce maybe Cobra Commander, and then after that,
that whole movie could just be their relationship, and then at the end, he gets Duke knocking on his door, yo, I want to recruit you or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so they could do the same thing with G.I. Joe and just slowly start building out this Hasbro universe, cross them over, bring in Micronauts, maybe Power Rangers. No. But, I mean, you can start building this up, you know? I mean, if they want to do the Marvel thing, because, I mean, they have a good start with this movie. Yeah. And if they do Snake Eyes right, if that movie does actually go into production, if they do Snake Eyes right, and they do the next Transformer proper film right, they off and running, man.
Yeah,
they off and running. So I'm excited, man.
I'm back on board. I say.
Yeah, I'm excited. So yeah, those are our thoughts for Bumblebee. Go ahead and check out the film and let us know what you thought in the comments below. Remember to go ahead, rate, like, subscribe, and share. And go ahead and check out our other dorks. This man over here, DiscoDork. Check me out at TheTurtleDork, at Sidewalk Siren, at Mouth Dork, at WB Das. And with that, we are out.